Hey YouTube, I'm back to continue reviewing Not Scary Farm 2012. Last time I reviewed Slaughterhouse, Pinocchio and Strung, Terror of London, and Trapped. And so I'm just going in order of what we did the events that night. The next thing we did that night, we went to go see the Hanging. Um, oh yeah, we'll be reviewing shows too, just so you know. But yeah, the Hanging. We saw it. I really liked the concept this year about instead of the Hunger Games, the Hanging Games, and I really liked the first half of the show this year. Um, the acting is not the world's best, and the stunts aren't the world's best, but it's cheesy like it's supposed, like the show's been for the past 40 years. It's supposed to be cheesy. Um, so like the storyline wise, I liked it pretty good, except for this second half. Like the first half, it was really funny, and everything made sense. But starting in the second half of the show, it for me it didn't make sense. Like all of a sudden, it was just like random things being killed. It was like, where was the Hunger Games supposed to tie in with all of this? But but besides that, I think they did a really good job this year with the hanging. They normally do a really good job. Um, and then I really liked who they hung this year. I was like, yay, finally they hung that person. I didn't want to spoil it for people. Um, so, yeah, but for you who haven't seen the show yet, I'm not going to spoil it. But overall, I give the Hanging Games, as they call it, or the Hanging Show 2012, I give that a B plus. It was really good, but just the second half kind of disappointed me. Besides who they hung, of course. But overall, it was a really good show this year. Then after that, we head over to Ed Alonzo's Funhouse. Ed Alonzo, this is for you. Love you, man. You're hilarious. You're never a disappointment. Great show. Great tricks. Better than the year before. I really liked your show last year, but this year you definitely stepped it up. It felt like last year it was like it was like 1 minute of magic tricks and 20 minutes of stripping. That's what it felt like last year. Well, I shouldn't really say stripping, but those girls that danced very sexually, almost, uh, almost stripping. But yeah, this time I liked it. It was half and half, so we got a little bit of everything. Plus, we had a special guest last night. It was I can't remember their names. I think the guy's name was Michael, and I can't remember the girl's name, but it was one of those I want to call them ribbon dancers, but not exactly. It's the long rib, like the long giant silks that would hang from the ceiling, and they would lift themselves up and entangle in them, and but it was like acrobatics. But overall, that was really good. Like you said, the guest was going. The dancing was good. The music selection was good. The magic tricks were amazing. Some of them, like the first one, was kind of like, okay, that's kind of obvious. I was a contortionist, but then like later on, it's like, whoa, how did that happen? How did that happen? Especially the last one. The last one, when I was watching it, I was kind of like, oh, this is gonna be a very predictable watch. But at the very end, it like twisted, and I was like, oh wow. I didn't want to give it away, so people can go watch it on themselves. But overall, Ed Alonzo is a great job as always. I give you an A as always. So see, after that we did what was the maze that we did? Oh yeah, the one right under Ed Alonzo's. It was Dia de los Muertos. Excuse me, or as it known as English Day of the Dead. This is kind of getting an old maze. This is its fourth year running. I thought it was an okay maze before. It was like it wasn't super scary, but with the 3D effects and very colorful, it was really cool. And I understand it. Not Scary Farm wants to have like their one maze that's you can still get a little scared from, but it's the fun maze. That's how I should put it. It's the fun maze. And this year they definitely did shorten it and change some things up. I gotta say though, it was very extremely disappointing this year. Like we waited like I'll say about 40 minutes to get into it because the line was so long, and it's just there was a very big lack of talent actually. I felt like over half the maze was on the break at the same time, and the talent, you weren't on your A game. I'm gonna be honest, you guys weren't on your A game this year. It just like only one person truly got me, and that was in like that hanging skeleton room, and you can't tell which one's which or which one's real. That's the only time I gotta say I got shocked. Besides that, you guys just kind of walked around and made it just just walked around hoping to scare people just by walking around. But in that type of maze, when it's supposed to be a fun maze, you're supposed to use the 3D effects to your advantage, not just walk around and hope go boo and scare someone. This talent this year wasn't on its A game. I got to be honest. I even saw a few people just sitting around just staring at you, just like there's a difference between the people that stare at you to creep you out and people just sit there and just stare at you because they're not doing anything or they're tired. This was probably closer to around 11 at night when this happened, when I went on Dia de los Muertos. So yeah, overall, I gotta be honest, just because like nobody scared me except for that one person that slightly startled me. Just the lack of talent and just waiting over a half hour just for a big disappointment. I gotta be honest, I'm gonna give Dia de los Muertos a D. Yes, D as in dog. I'm sorry. Like the effects were cool, but that's the only reason why I was in total epic fail. Got to be honest. I'm sorry. Um, and the maze is kind of overdue. It's just it was kind of a fun theme, but with if it's something not super scary and super like I think it's overdue to be honest. I think Dia de los Muertos should have left this year. What I honestly thought what should have happened was they should have kept Doll Factory for a year and replaced Dia de los Muertos instead of Doll Factory, because Doll Factory was a really good maze, very popular maze, even though it wasn't super scary, like gonna make you cry afterwards. The creepiness was just outstanding. I loved the maze still. I think they could have dragged that out for just one more year. I think would have been great, just one more year, and replace it next year with not Theaters commercials. I'm sorry, they should have replaced Pinocchio with it next year instead of this year. I'm not saying I don't like Pinocchio, but I think Doll Factory could have lasted another year, and Day of the Dead could have got replaced with another fun 3D maze, like change it up a bit. Um, so moving on. Next, I believe yes, we did Uncle Bobo's Big Top of the Bazaar, the clown maze. Um, we had to wait because it was getting towards the middle of the night. We had to wait like a half hour, about 20 minutes to a half hour again for a maze. It was pretty long, but it was pretty good this year. I gotta say, it was the talent was on their A game, even though it seemed like again like half the talent was on their break at the same time. But this time the talent, at least they still had the energy. They still brung it, and they really got us a few times in the maze. Um, they didn't do much change. Like they did some a good chunk of change this year to the layout and everything, but you know, still the acting was really well. The props were really cool. The 3D, excuse me, ooh, have like the hiccup. Sorry. The 3D made it really cool. People have been saying, "Oh, it's time to change Uncle Bobo. It's trying to change to another clown maze." But the thing is, it's really hard to change um, a clown maze. To be honest, like there's only certain things you come up with when it comes to clowns. Like, and even then, it's hard to replace props for clowns because they're all crazy and um, like people like. But honestly, I don't care what the clown maze overall theme is. Clown maze is the clown maze no matter what, and this year it's still really good. One thing I was really disappointed with, one of my favorite props that was added a couple years ago with Uncle Bobo's, was that giant talking fish that was singing along with the music in like a screamo voice, dark screamo voice. I thought it was really cool. It was really creepy. But this year, um, he was just on the wall talking. I was like, "What? My favorite fish? That's like I love him." It was really cool, and I was disappointed to see that he just sat there talking. I was like, I liked what he did before, but overall, Uncle Bobo's was really good this year, even with the lack of talent. I would have to give it a um, I would give it a A minus, an A minus. Just not quite an A because if it had more talent, it would bring it to A or A plus. Would have brought it down, but it was like almost there. But just like I was saying, maybe not to try to schedule breaks more efficiently, so there's not like half the maze gone at one time. That's my recommendation to you, but do what you wish. Okay, I'm coming up at the 10-minute mark, guys. So I will make a part three of my Not Scared for 2012 video, and I hope you rate, comment, and subscribe. Okay, bye.